signs. And hopefully this video will give you a little bit more insight on that personality inside of you that is the moon. What is the moon in astrology? It's the sign in our chart that shapes our inner world. It's our emotional body. It's the place in us that feels most like home, especially when the needs are being met of our moon sign. This is when we feel most at home. The moon sign represents what it is like when we're pushed up against the wall, how we react to that. So when we look at the moon sign, we're really looking at how we nurture ourselves and how we nurture others and our inner needs. So if you have an Aries moon, right, you are fiery. You have this fiery personality inside of you. Aries moon people are full of energy, and their energy may come in spurts. When backed up against a wall, if you have an Aries moon, you might be a little explosive, right? You could see that you have a temper, that your fire really comes up when you're feeling like you're backed up against that wall. If you're an Aries moon person, you need to give yourself space and permission to start new things. You need to allow yourself space to strategize. It's more about starting the project than actually completing it that really fills the needs of the Aries moon person. Staying busy and moving your body is really going to help release some of your emotion. Aries is very energetic, and when you have the moon sign, your inner needs means that you need to move your body in order to process emotions. So that might really help you. There's also this level of independence that Aries moon people need to feel in order to feel safe and secure. Taurus moon people are very connected to their senses. The taste and touch and smell of an environment will really make a Taurus moon feel safe and secure. They need to feel grounded and safe and secure at all times. Otherwise, they can get a little bit riled up. Because Taurus moon people are very grounded and rooted, change can be a bit of an issue at times. Taurus moon people are very grounded and stable and solid. So people often go to them because they feel that groundedness from them. It's essential for Taurus moon people to be connected to nature, to be out on hikes, to have their hands in the dirt. This is all very, very soothing for their inner needs. So a safe and nurturing and beautiful home also serves a Taurus moon very well. So a way to balance out a Taurus moon person would be to move their body. Taurus energy can sometimes stay kind of stagnant, and so it needs to lift itself up and move. A really good practice for a Taurus moon person as well is to open themselves up to new things. Gemini moon. So when you have a Gemini moon, there is a very strong need to communicate and to learn and to allow your curiosity to shape your inner world, to feed your inner needs. They are fed by information and they like to socialize. They like to know a little bit about a lot of things. So allowing that curiosity to really take center stage. Engaging in new information and learning, reading, writing, all of this will really serve the inner needs of a Gemini moon. So Gemini moon people are pretty good at change. They're very adaptable. And put them into a room usually and they're able to adapt to their surrounding. It's important for Gemini moon people to allow themselves space to actually figure out what it is that they're feeling emotionally. Oftentimes they can communicate their feelings, but they're not allowing themselves space to actually feel it. Journaling is a really good tool for a Gemini moon person. It's important for Gemini moon people to have stimulation, especially mental stimulation. Otherwise, there can be this level of restlessness or boredom. Gemini moon people may struggle with anxiety or nervousness because there's a lot of information coming at them and they crave that. Their nervous system can get a little bit heightened. So taking breaks from news and talking and reading and writing and learning and practicing sitting still is really going to help a Gemini moon person. You know, grounding into the earth with bare feet or sitting still in nature for a little while just to come back to themselves. And taking breaks from social media and their phone, that's really also going to serve a Gemini moon well, and it's going to serve their nervous system. They need to take extra care of their nervous system as they're constantly processing information. Cancer moon. So when you have a Cancer moon, you feel things so very, very deeply. It's a very, very sensitive placement. It's water. You feel everything. If something were to impact a Cancer moon emotionally, they're going to remember it forever. This sign experiences mood swings very often. They are on a roller coaster ride. 1 minute happy, the next minute sad. They can hold space for all of the emotions. Having a safe and comfortable home is super important for Cancer energy, as it's that protective crab, nurturing archetype. And it needs to feel safe, especially at home, as they typically nurture others. So having it back is very important. Saying no, not feeling like you have to say yes to people or you have to nurture other people. So saying no and having some boundaries is very helpful for Cancer moon people. Often if you put a Cancer moon person in a new environment, like if you're traveling somewhere, it will get them out of their routine. And that can be very helpful to open up to new experiences and to stay more present. Cancer moon people can sometimes get stuck in the past. So when you travel, you're able to pull yourself out and put yourself in a new environment where you can stay more present. Leo moon. So if you have a Leo moon, Words of affirmation are very, very important. It's the fiery placement. Leo energy in general needs lots of attention. It needs to be seen and it needs to shine. There's also a very strong need to creatively express yourself when you have a Leo moon. There's a strong sense of pride with a Leo moon. So when they're backed against a wall, you may see them get a little bit fiery and their pride really come up. Being near water may really serve a Leo moon person really well. Embracing some solitude, giving themselves words of affirmation, really pumping themselves up will really help, because Leo energy in general is always looking out to be affirmed, and really what's helpful is for them to affirm themselves. Virgo moon people are earthy. There is a strong need to feel productive and to be in service and to do and to cross things off the to-do list and to be organized and to be routined, and this fills their inner needs. There is a lot of expectation for self with Virgo energy, expectations of the way that things are done. And oftentimes they will criticize themselves if they don't feel like it was perfect. It is the perfectionist. And so there is a level of expectations with self and sometimes others when you have a Virgo moon, or a criticism that can happen. Virgo moon people may like to clean or be productive when they're mad. Some ways to balance out a Virgo moon would be to say no and to create boundaries. There is a strong need to be in service to other people with Virgo energy, especially when it's the moon sign, because they can sometimes take on a lot of projects. So saying no at times will really help. Having some sort of creative outlet, scheduling playtime, having a couple hours each week in their planner where they are able to do something spontaneous. Libra moon. So when you have a Libra moon, there is a strong need for peace and harmony, right? It's the balance, it's the scales. Usually a Libra moon person really feels most at home when they're on a team or when they're in a partnership with somebody else, because Libra is the we. So having someone to bounce ideas off of will really help a Libra moon try and figure out even how they're feeling about something. This archetype can see both sides of a story and often is trying to find the balance point or the mediation between two sides of a story. Libra moon people can sometimes suffer from indecision because what happens is they see all the different aspects or all the different choices in a situation, and they can see good in all of them. They can always see that there will be good in every decision. Having somebody else to talk through their choices with will also really help them. At times, a Libra moon person will choose to please the other person because it creates more peace than actually choosing what's best for them. Libra moon people will have to step into owning their own emotions, owning their own anger, owning their own unrest, giving themselves permission for that to be okay. Also practicing being alone with yourself and making decisions on your own, or writing out the pros and cons in 2 different columns will really help. Scorpio moon. So when you have a Scorpio moon, your inner needs are in water and they feel everything very intensely. Scorpio moon people are very intuitive and they can walk into a room and feel other people's emotions really quickly. They have a sixth sense for their environment. They can pick up on how you're feeling without even trying. This is a very empathetic placement. This is also a strong inner need to dive into the why of something, the researcher, the one that's going to dig below the surface to understand it fully. Why do I feel the way that I do? Why do you feel the way that you do? Why does that person do that? There's a big why with Scorpio. They can oftentimes struggle with holding on to things and having obsessive thoughts or not being able to let go of something. And that's something that they'll have to practice, is releasing and letting go and surrendering. Saying no and just that, practicing the art of surrender or the art of letting go. Sagittarius moon. So if you have a Sagittarius moon, your emotional body is in a fire sign. Sagittarius has a really strong need for laughter and lightness and humor and adventure and experience. This placement is very fun to be around. It's cheerful, it's light, it's going to look for the positives in situations. It doesn't take life as seriously as some other signs do. Sagittarius energy is really at home when it's learning and teaching. There's this teacher-student cycle that happens with the Sagittarius. And when your moon is in Sagittarius, you have a strong inner need to be learning and teaching. This sign is really independent and doesn't love to be tied down. If the Sagittarius moon feels too suffocated, it's going to bounce. It's going to leave. It doesn't want to be tied down too hard. This moon sign also really appreciates honesty and is often speaking truth at all times, maybe to a fault, maybe where they have to stick their foot in the mouth because they say something that's hurtful to somebody else because it was just truth to them. To honor your feelings when you're feeling sadness or darkness or hurt, instead of quickly going to the positive in something, allowing yourself to be in that space where you're actually feeling the emotion. Also, creating a schedule is helpful for Sagittarius moon. Water is helpful for fire moon people like Sag moons. So water and body work and swimming and things where you're able to move your body in water and move energy out, it is also very helpful for a Sagittarius moon. Capricorn moon. So if you have a Capricorn moon, there is a very strong emotional need to work, to climb the mountain of your success. This is a serious placement. It's cautious. It likes to have goals. It likes to climb the mountain. It's the mountain goat that climbs very slowly up towards their goals. It's logical and serious. It's very good at using its resources. There's a calm, cool, collected energy about a Capricorn moon person, and they really are amazing to have around in times of crisis because they have this strong steadiness and they know what to do in a time of crisis. Some ways to help a Capricorn moon person would be to ask for help, bring in family, practice being more open and more vulnerable, and also being really aware of the critical self-talk, because Capricorn energy can sometimes should themselves to death. And so watching that voice and being really aware of that critical self-talk. Aquarius moon. So when you have an Aquarius moon, there is a really strong need to create community, to connect people. There is a really strong inner need to help humanity. And Aquarius is that social justice person, to help the greater good. Often this sign can feel like it's emotionally distant, like they don't fit in, like they're on the outside. So surrounding yourself with super like-minded people, the weirdos, the woo-woos, the ones that are eccentric and think about what is good for all of society. Surrounding yourself with those types of people will really serve you well. Aquarius energy often looks towards the future, so there's a strong need to look towards the future to feel secure. Being an Aquarius moon person means you have this ability to let people be who they are, and there's a non-judgmental acceptance around it, and that's a beautiful gift. Having a soul tribe and relationships and friendships around you where you can really relate to that person is very helpful. So one way for an Aquarius moon person to really help feed their inner needs would be to nourish themselves, to eat really well, to allow lots of time for rest, to allow your emotions to surface, maybe journaling about them or trusting a friend with that information and kind of talking through how you're feeling and just allowing yourself to feel. And practice vulnerability and ask for help. Pisces moon. So if you have a Pisces moon, your moon sign is in water. It's incredibly intuitive. It feels everything. It has lots of antennas around its whole body to feel everybody's emotional stuff. And at times, it doesn't know whose is whose. Is your sadness my sadness? Is that person's anger my anger? And so there's a really strong need with a Pisces moon person to practice boundaries to protect its energy. It's definitely prone to escaping drugs, alcohol, solitude, whatever it is, whatever they use. Pisces moon people really need solitude in order to figure out how they actually are feeling on the inside. So having some sort of safe, alone space will really serve them well. This is a very, very sensitive moon placement, and having really supportive, nurturing people around you is very helpful. Guarding your energy when you're a Pisces moon is essential, right? So black tourmaline is an amazing stone to help protect your energy. Saging yourself, cleansing yourself, even verbally, and saying, I'm releasing anybody else's energy that no longer serves me, that is not mine. So releasing other people's energy is very helpful for any moon sign, right? But Pisces moon people just absorb all of it like a sponge, and they need to let it go. So every day practicing letting go of other people's energy, like through your feet. Practicing just releasing other people's energy is really going to serve a Pisces moon well. As well as using meditation and solitude as the escape versus drugs and alcohol. So I hope that was helpful to understand how that part of you functions. I really like to look at astrology as a bunch of passengers on a bus, or a bunch of personalities inside of us, and each one of them has needs, and each one of them is unique and different. And if we really meet the needs of each personality inside of us and have that self-awareness, and then we can live a life that's more in tune with our soul. So if you have any questions, please pop them below in the comment box. Please subscribe and send this video to anyone you think would find it useful. And visit my website, Farmhouse Moon, if you'd like to set up an astrology reading with me. Thanks guys, sending love.